back-to-back nights in Montreal, and the Leafs wouldn't say they blew the doors off the Habs, but they provided us a 4-0 win. So that's something, which I like. People like it when games are close, but I hate it. Those last couple minutes when the goalie's pulled and you're just like, ah, having a heart attack. But, when the game was over, the Habs outshot the Leafs by maybe 4. They outhit them by over double. They had a slight edge in face-offs. Leafs had to block a few more shots. So statistically, the Habs had maybe a slight advantage in a few categories, and a significant one in terms of hits and stuff. But it just didn't. It just doesn't seem to matter because the Leafs can just kind of do what they want, and the Habs can try and throw themselves at the Leafs over and over again. But they just always seem to come out on top in this matchup, which makes sense because, like I keep saying, they are a much better team. And now the shot differential, the third period really had a lot to do with it. Just like the game before, they kind of fell into that defensive shell in the third period where you bend but don't break. And the majority of the Habs shots, I think, came in that third period when that happened. But once again, we had a scoreless first period. It was very evenly played. That seems to be the way the first periods go. They're low scoring and they're very evenly played. Some lineup notes. They gave Campbell the back-to-back starts, which normally they don't do that, but it is the playoffs, and so both of the starting goalies were in nets at either end. I forgot to mention that Foligno did not play in Game 3 because he aggravated something in Game 2. Just a little hit where he just kind of was like, testing things out, and then he was in the pregame skate during Game 3, but couldn't go. So then he was out again tonight. So now that's Foligno and Tavares both out. So Adam Brooks drew into the lineup, and on the defensive end, I think they gave Sandin the night off just as he is their young guy. They want to maybe protect him a bit. So back-to-back nights, they gave him a night off and put Dermott in, and also to get Dermott a bit of action and keep him sharp, right? Everybody stepped into their roles, played a really good game. Brooks took a penalty late in the game, or maybe in the second period when he got at it with Kulak, which was nice because I don't mind them taking roughing penalties and stuff like that. It's the hooks and the holds and the trips that I hate. As long as you're, engaged and putting your fist in somebody's face, I'm fine with all those. And this was one of the nights where, other than a goal by Nylander, it was mostly bottom six scoring, which is good because Matthews and Marner, like I said, can't carry the load the entire run, right? And that's the same of any team that wins a Stanley Cup. You need secondary scoring. You need defense, you need goaltending, you need secondary scoring. So tonight was one of those nights where they got it. All the scoring, other than the empty netter at the end of the game, came in the second period. 1.5 minutes into the second, that's when the Leafs opened it. It was a neat little play. Kerfoot, Galchenyuk, and Nylander led a 3-on-2 rush. And just managed to stay on side at the blue line. And once they crossed, Kerfoot was in possession of the puck. Galchenyuk took off towards the net, off to Price's right. The Price is right. Kerfoot just kind of shoveled the puck forward, a forward pass, and Galchenyuk took it, and then looked like he was going to drive on Price, but at the last minute kind of made this little through his legs back pass across the crease to Nylander, who on the opposite side, as a right-handed shot, just kind of had to tap it in on the backhand. And speaking of Nylander, I mean, I'm always on him, as lots of people are, about his kind of softness. And you still see it in these games, like he made a couple plays tonight along the boards where he just kind of gave up on the puck and the Habs just took it from him and then played in the Leafs zone for a bit because of that. So I'd really like to see him shore that up. He actually laid a hit on somebody a game or two ago, a pretty decent one, and it was like, Jesus, like, where was that all the time? Like, if only he could play hard like that and not be afraid of getting hit and coughing up the puck in those situations, he'd be unbelievable, right? Because obviously we know what he can do with the puck, right? But without it, that's where we kind of where he kind of struggles. But you gotta say he has scored a goal in every game so far in this series, 4 games in a row. So, I mean, he's doing something right? Like he still has those holes in his game, but you got to give him props for his consistency so far on the offensive side of things. So, good for Nylander. That's a real positive. So he opened it at 1.5 minutes in. The other 2 goals came in the back half of the second, 12 minutes in, something like that. Oh, baby. It was Spezza, which was good to see because last game he got robbed on the paddle saved by Price when he was all alone to Price's right and had an open net, and Price came across and got the stick on it. And then he had a chance early in the game too on a breakaway where he couldn't beat Price through the wicket, so it's like he's probably getting frustrated. But it was I think it was Galchenyuk who passed it over to him. Kind of a rush towards the net, and Spezza was just camped out right in front of Price, and they were all driving towards him. Galchenyuk fed him a nice little saucer pass, and Spezza just had to kind of angle his blade on the stick up a bit so that he just put his stick there, right? It was one of those goals. Puck hit it, ramped up, over Price, 2-0 Leafs. The third goal, which came maybe, I want to say either 14 or 17 minutes in, I don't remember. I get confused when there's so many goals. It's too much to keep track of in this old mind. And it was Joe Thornton. And speaking of touch, it was a power play goal. And the Leafs were working it around the zone a bit. I forget who had it up high in the high slot, but then they just fed it down a quick little slap pass almost. It wasn't a shot, but it wasn't like a pass. It was kind of one of those hard passes. And Joe was parked off to Price's right. The Price is right again. And being a left-handed shot, it was perfect. He just kind of, the pass came at him. He just kind of angled his blade and put a little touch on it, and it just went beep, perfect little deflection right into the net in what little space he had as Price came across with his pad to try and stop it. Real touch right there. I really liked that goal. It was pretty. So we went to the break between the second and the third with a 3-0 Leaf lead. And at that point I said, this thing's over. Like, Montreal can't score more than 1-2 max goals in a game, right? So you figure with a period to go, the Leafs had it locked down. And Campbell was, Campbell's had an amazing series. And he was on again this game. So cue ahead to the third period. Like I said, I think that's where Montreal got a good chunk of their shots in the third period when it was bend, don't break, defensive shell. And the Leafs did just that. They bend, but they didn't break. And they came away with a 4-0 shutout when Galchenyuk iced it with an empty netter late in the game. I think they pulled Price with just a little over 4 minutes left, and Hyman had a chance to end it. He got a bit of a partial break, and he was maybe just at the top of the faceoff dots, and he just kind of massaged it into the empty net, but it missed on the post by that much. And that's one of the things where it's like, okay, I know there's only 4 minutes left and the Leafs have a 3-goal lead, but those are the types of things when you miss something like that, the other team kind of hops on it and go, okay, we still have life, and then they go down and score, and then it's a 2-goal lead, which is the most dangerous lead in hockey, right? Oh, they get another one, right? Because there's still 4 minutes left, right? That's one of those things where you go, ooh, is this going to cost them? It didn't. And eventually, like I said, Galchenyuk was able to get one, and 4-0 Leaf win. Shutout for Jackery. Jacarias gets his first playoff shutout. And so Campbell was awesome. The secondary scoring was awesome. Kerfoot had 2 points, I think. Galchenyuk had 3 points. Who else? Spezza had 2 points, I think. Joe got a goal. The only one of their top 6 forwards that got a goal or a point even was Nylander, right? So really some positive stuff coming from the bottom 6 forwards. And it's not like the top guys were invisible. Matthews and Marner, I thought this was Marner's best game. He had a really spirited game. Matthews was good as well. Simmons, again, was running around with a lot of energy. Engvall, Mikheyev, even though Kerfoot was the only one from that line to get in on the scoring, I thought they also had some spirited shifts. And on D, Dermott was spot on. He had no problems getting in to the series late. And he had a really strong game. So overall, it was just a really strong team game. And, the Leafs, a lot was made about Montreal being the top hitting team in the league. But, the Leafs absorb them no problem. And they give it back when they want to. But But tonight was one of those nights where the game just seemed like it was over before it was over. It didn't have quite the pace that some of the other games did, and as the score got more and more, it just kind of was like there wasn't as much, I don't know, not intensity, but the other games just seemed so close and like whoa on that pendulum, right? But this one was just kind of almost like ordained, and I think that took away from some of the I don't know, some of the, I don't want to say intensity, but kind of, right? So but that's fine, because fuck, I'm tired of 1-goal games. But that means the Leafs now have a 3-1 lead in the series. Winnipeg closed out Edmonton the other night in a sweep, which I don't think anybody saw coming. I thought that series was going to go 6 or 7, and it could have gone either way, I mean, all you have to do is shut down McDavid and Draisaitl, which is not an easy thing to do, but you saw what the Leafs did to them in the regular season. You keep those two guys off the board, they shut them out in a couple games, right? But especially how shitty the Jets were playing as the regular season came to a close. You always say, well, it's a new start, you can just flip the switch. Well, it's not that easy, but they were able to do it, and somehow swept them. So if the Leafs are able to close this series out, they will be facing Winnipeg, who I hate. So I hate Montreal, I hate Winnipeg, so that'll be another fun opponent if the Leafs can do it. So I'm very excited, because if they can get one more win here, this will be the first playoff series they've won in, I don't remember how many years it is, but let's just say it's a long fucking time. And to do it against these assholes, it would just make it even sweeter. And then if they can go on and win another series after that against those assholes, it'll be even sweeter. But one game at a time, to use that cliche. So Leafs play again on Thursday. Let's hope that's the last game of this series. But we will watch and find out. And I will be back to chime in with my stunning introspective reports. Toodles.